Welcome back to the Hood Needs Fantasy Football Podcast. This is the Week 17 waivers for the championship. I got my dog with me here, BBTB.
Yep. Last week, hopefully you made it to the chip. Let's get it.
Yep. Yeah, I know me and BBTB did in one of our leagues.
Oh, we won by 0.8 points?
Yeah, no, it was like 1.2, but yeah, like, you know.
Well, like 1.2. Crazy.
Yeah, man. And we basically don't have a QB, so I don't know how we got here.
But the QB we might pick up is the dude that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, so stay tuned. Let's go ahead and jump into it, guys. This episode's not going to be too long. If you're here, you're in the championship, you probably don't need a waiver pickup if you're in the chip, but for, all one of you that may be listening to this, let's jump into the QB pickups. Bryce Young, rostered in 7% of leagues, playing against Tampa Bay. He had himself a nice game. He was in the studs list if you listen to that episode. Against Arizona, who have been playing like crap. But they get a Tampa Bay defense that allows a lot of yards through the air, not a lot on the ground. And Bryce Young has been picking it up, man.
Yeah, he was honestly my preseason sleeper quarterback. Obviously, it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to be. But I'll be honest, man, I have a lot of high hopes for him next year. He's playing for his starting spot. Like, yo, y'all better keep me. Draft the players you need to draft. Let's build this team, and we should be fine next year. So I'm liking Bryce Young.
I really like the way he stepped up. He got benched, and he didn't just become worse or stay the same,
True.
It motivated him. I like that a lot, man. Honestly, it shows good character from him, from his side. Being benched for Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton can't go. So they said, Bryce Young, it's up to you, man. And he's stepped up great, man. So I like Bryce Young. If you're in the chip, man, me and BBTV have this decision in one of our leagues. It's between him and, I don't know, Justin Herbert or something.
Yeah.
We will have to wait and see what we do. But if you're desperate, Jalen Hurts, concussion protocol, all the QBs are swooped up on the waivers. And if Jalen Hurts doesn't go next week, you may be stuck with Bryce Young if you don't have a backup quarterback. So
yeah,
that's it for quarterbacks, guys. There's not really much else. If you're in the chip, man, this is your only real option. Yeah. Yeah. Next let's actually move into wide receiver pickups. Just a couple of names here, guys. Jalen McMillan, who's been stepping up huge in that offense for the Bucks, has a touchdown in 3 straight weeks. He's only rostered in 45% of leagues. He's looking pretty good. He stepped up very nicely with no Godwin.
Looks really good. Like, seriously, like he looks like he's been in the league for a few years and he's just a rookie. Like, he's just solid. Baker Mayfield's playing lights out. Kind of sad what happened at the end of the Cowboys game, but it is what it is. Yeah. Fantasy wise, they're playing solid. So Jalen McMillan, you need a flex. Grab him.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's really stepped up. His first few weeks were pretty bad. After the bye week, I think he had a dud performance. But after the bye week, or I shouldn't say, after the bye week, he had a couple of bad performances. Then he stepped up. Honestly, he came up. He's looked good. He had a decent week this last week. He had 5 receptions on 7 targets, 57 yards against what's been a pretty tough Dallas defense. And they get Carolina next week. So
I was about to say, it should be a great matchup next week.
Math up.
Eyebrow.
Had to, I'm sorry. Next on the list, Marquise Hollywood Brown, rostered in 32% of leagues. He had a 27% snap share and had 8 targets, 5 receptions in that game.
He's a good pickup, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I feel like, how do I explain it? The Chiefs pretty much have the 1 seed. They're not losing the 1 seed. I don't know if Marquise Brown's going to eat like that, So
no, I don't think so either. It's just a player to pick up. Worst case scenario, you don't play him.
Yeah.
And he sits on your bench. If you can afford to drop a player and there's someone, I'm sure there's a player on your team that you don't need. But 45 yards on 5 receptions is not bad. And, your best bet would probably be Jalen McMillan, but he may already be rostered. Hollywood Brown may be the only other option out there. And you shouldn't need him, but you just never know, man. Teams end up sitting players and they just don't need to play players. So a lot of these guys that you have in the fantasy finals might not be poised for a big game. So you might need to lean on one of these other guys. But that'll do it for the wide receivers, guys. There's not a lot of options out there. No one really stepped up. There's a couple of players that had some good games from the Washington Commanders, Olamide Zacchaeus, but he had 2 touchdowns. But I wouldn't chase that.
Taking my risk. It was a chip with Zacchaeus.
It was a divisional game, and he stepped up big in that game. So good for him. But yeah, I wouldn't depend on him for your fantasy finals.
Yep.
Let's move on to the RBs. At the top, this is an interesting one. Gus Edwards, rostered in 48% of leagues, had himself a nice game. Just something to note. J.K. Dobbins was activated off of IR or designated to return off IR. If he does return, then Gus Edwards is pretty much worthless.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I wouldn't put in, I don't know if I'd put in a waiver
if
claim
you somehow need a flex player or an RB2, sure, that's probably what's on your waivers. But if Dobbins is back, slightly avoid Gus Edwards if you have him.
Yeah, I would probably get this other guy, Alexander Madison, who is getting the Saints next week. And we saw what Green Bay did to the Saints on the ground this week.
Yeah.
So he is the lead back, had 12 carries and 7 targets, 4 receptions, and a touchdown against Jacksonville. He is splitting with Amir Abdullah. So, I don't know what the split is exactly.
Take my risk with Alexander Madison against a really weak Saints team.
Yeah.
Than play Gus Edwards with J.K. Dobbins coming back. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I would prefer to get Madison. Probably if you have a claim, he probably would be the best running back to grab out of these. Just because he is the starter. They tried starting Sincere McCormick or whatever his name was, and he's on IR. He injured his ankle, I think, last week. So
yeah,
not this week, but the week before. And so he was out this week. So it's all Alexander Madison and Amir Abdullah. So yeah, maybe worth a pickup. If you need an RB, grab Madison if he's available.
Yeah.
A couple of names to add in here. Trey Benson, who got injured week 15, didn't play week 16, but we saw James Conner with a knee injury. So this is interesting. Trey Benson was the 3rd string. He's out. DeMercado, I think, was the 2nd string. He's on IR. Michael Carter, who's rostered in 0% of leagues on the practice squad, is now the 4th man up. So if Trey Benson doesn't go, Michael Carter's also there, rostered in 0% of leagues. I don't know which one you prioritize picking up, because if Trey Benson, kind of look to see what happens tomorrow, if there's anything, or I should say today when you guys see this, before Wednesday morning when waivers go through. If Trey Benson, if they're talking about he's going to play, he's supposed to play this week, they're not playing for anything. They're eliminated.
Exactly. Completely. I was just about to say, I feel like Michael Carter is playing for something more than Trey Benson. I think Trey Benson's been on that roster for a little bit, while Michael Carter's been on the practice squad, jumped around teams. Remember, he was on the Jets before, I think another team before that. So Michael Carter is playing for something. He wants the roster spot for next year. So he's trying to play his butt off. So you somehow, you're in the chip and you somehow need a flex player and those 3 homies are out. Michael Carter could be the play. So.
Bro. Trey Benson is a rookie, just so you're aware.
Oh, then, I was talking about DeMercado then.
Yeah, DeMercado's been there. But yeah, Trey Benson's a rookie. They drafted him. I think they drafted him pretty like 3rd round. Either way. They have no reason to run him back in there. They're eliminated. What's the point? Unless they want to develop him. If he's not doing well, they're just going to run Michael Carter, and he's going to be trying to play for a spot. So,
yeah.
I look to see if there's any news on Tuesday before you put in your waiver claims. Take a shot on either of these guys if you really must. If you have James Conner, maybe you take a shot. But these, like we said, the Cardinals are out, so they're not really playing for anything anymore.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit tough to trust. But Alexander Madison, number one for sure. And the rest of these guys, best of luck. That's all we can say. If you're in the chip and you need one of these guys, man, good luck to you.
Yeah.
Let's move on to tight ends. Actually, let's move on to the one and only tight end. It's Chigakonkwo, rostered in 7% of leagues. Chigazim, man. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much else. I mean, just for Chig.
It's dry, though, the waivers.
No, I mean, and tight ends haven't really been producing. But I want to say that I think if Mason Rudolph is the quarterback, then you can kind of lean on Chig. Because in week 15, when they benched Will Levis and Mason Rudolph took over, Chig had 10 targets, 8 receptions, 59 yards. This week he had 11 targets, 9 receptions, 81 yards, and a 2-point conversion. So he's getting targeted a lot more with Mason Rudolph. They play against Jacksonville. It's a good matchup. So I don't know if you have you have
like Travis Kelce, bro. Go get Chig.
Crazy. You really think so?
Bro, I hate Travis Kelce now, bro. I was trying to just ride him.
Look. Hold on.
No Diddy.
Hold on.
But look, but, hey, yo, bro, Chigathan.
Let me just say something real quick here. It's I think like a fantasy just rule of thumb. You gotta trust your studs when it comes down to it, right? So if you have Travis Kelce, you're gonna put him out there, bro.
Brother, you drafted Travis Etienne in the 2nd round, and you ain't trust that homie. You dropped him.
He not a stud, bro. He not a stud.
I'm just saying, though, he was a stud. If you're going round 2,
yeah, bro. Man,
Travis
not a stud.
Going like round 2, round 3.
He not a stud, bro. Look, you guys do your own research. If you want to listen to BBTB, please do. But Chig, man, is just a plug and play. You don't trust your tight end. You somehow made it to the playoffs with Kyle Pitts, and you need somebody. Chigakonkwo, man. That's all there is out there.
Yeah.
Rostered in 7% of leagues. That's it for tight ends. Let's move into the defense. Colts against the Giants. Colts are rostered in 48% of leagues. They played Tennessee this week. So they're pretty heavily rostered or kind of heavily rostered because of that. And to be honest, if you're in the playoffs, you should have already stacked up a couple defenses. I did that in one league.
We were talking about it like a couple weeks ago. Like, yo, if y'all have made playoffs the first round, y'all need to stack for the next round. And if your league allows multiple defenses, you need to stack from the 2nd round, then to the 3rd round, which is the chip. That's what I did.
Yeah, no, and that's good. Honestly, it's you're predicting the matchups. You need to have the defenses for it.
Yeah,
a lot of good matchups, but the ones that aren't as heavily rostered, Miami versus Cleveland, rostered in 47% of leagues, so probably not out there. But Cleveland with DTR, man, just does not look good. If Jameis Winston's playing, you can, roll the dice on that one. But if it's DTR, bro, go ahead, have fun, man. Miami defense should eat.
I would still roll Miami, bro. Winston throws hella picks.
Yeah, true. But he still can score a lot of garbage time points, and that doesn't help.
It's true, but defense. I mean, I don't know. I feel like he can get sacked a lot.
If DTR is the starter, then roll him out with confidence. If he's not, then good luck. Take your pick, make your pick. Washington defense, they're playing the Falcons with Michael Penix.
That's a tough one, bro. The Falcons looked really good last week. That's all I'm saying.
No, I mean they're a good offense, but you have this rookie quarterback. You have Kyle Pitts out there giving other teams, handing them interceptions and stuff like that. So this is like they're in order of kind of like what you should pick up. Washington versus Falcons. They're rostered in 35% of leagues. It's up to you to take this. Also with Drake London possibly being injured. What was his injury again?
Hamstring out for the 3rd quarter.
Okay. if Drake London doesn't play, I mean, that's also something to take note of. So if you can't get any of the other defenses, Washington's pretty available. Last but not least, this is a shot in the dark. This is a desperation play. Jacksonville against Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tennessee put up some numbers against the Colts last week, but they do give up turnovers. So Jacksonville defense is not that good, guys. Tennessee gives up the most turnovers to teams, and they give up the most fantasy points, like to opposing defenses. But it's really hard to trust the Jacksonville defense. This is a desperation play. You have nobody else. You're just trying something. So,
Yeah.
do you want to rank these or rate them?
I'd probably go Miami first, Colts, Jacksonville, Washington.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, any of those. I mean, if you can grab any of these, if you can grab the first two, awesome.
Yeah,
if you can't,
if you at least get the first two, you should be chilling.
yeah. If not, best of luck. Make your decision. Last but not least, let's go over kickers. I put a couple names in here that are rostered in less than 10% of leagues. Zane Gonzalez, he's the Washington kicker. They scored 4 touchdowns, I think, last week. They didn't have any field goal attempts, I don't think.
But, I mean, I don't know. Jaden Daniels is playing on point, so not really much. Like, it's either he gets the tutty or they just go 3 and out really early. So next week, hopefully, it's
a
bigger standpoint.
He didn't. Yeah. He didn't have any field goal attempts against the Eagles, but they play Atlanta. The Falcons give up a lot of points to kickers, so should be a good matchup. And that Washington offense is moving. So
yeah.
I put in this list Cardinals kicker. So I think Chad Ryland is the kicker right now, but I think Matt Prater's been activated off IR.
Okay.
Whoever the starter is, pick him up. They play the Rams divisional game. They're not playing for anything. I have a feeling the Cardinals will go out there and just have fun. When teams get eliminated, they're not playing for anything. There's no pressure. It's like, oh, okay.
Try some BS.
Yeah, just try some nonsense. Have fun with it, man. Just throw the ball. Get it to get it to Marvin Harrison. Try and get Trey McBride in the end zone. And if it doesn't work, whatever. Like, who cares? It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Game's worthless. Try to stop your division rivals from making make it to the playoffs, because Seattle hasn't locked up that division yet, have they?
No. Right now, Rams are on top.
Oh, okay, nice.
Rams are currently on top, and then
okay.
What you call it? So, I think I got to figure it out.
Hey, the Cardinals could go out there and just ruin their chances and just beat them.
Yeah. So Rams are 9-6, and Seattle's 8-7. So if Rams,
Seattle lost to Minnesota last week. That's right, by that tud by Justin Jefferson at the end.
Exactly. So if Seattle win next week, and then the Rams lose to the Cardinals, then they're playing for the division because they play each other week 18.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways, they're a good matchup for kickers. So if you don't have a kicker or you're not sure who to start, if you have a kicker and they've been doing good for you, just ignore this portion.
Yeah.
But that'll do it for the waiver wire pickup episode. If you guys are in the finals, I hope you don't need any of these guys. If you do, best of luck to you. And I hope you win the chip. And we will see you guys on the next episode.
Yep.
Peace.